then, and we agreed to it and we voted on it, if the county commission were to take that up, it makes the other issue moot.
Well, what we said, I think, was that, what we said was that if, yeah, what we said, calls, and was that if Commissioner X absolutely refuses to create a MAC, despite the fact that every resident in the district has signed a piece of paper saying they want to do it. So what we said was if 100,000 people sign a petition saying we want to do a MAC, and the commissioner just says, I'm not doing it, what we've said is that we voted to say either the county mayor or a majority of the county commission can go ahead and vote the MAC, create the MAC, even if that commissioner doesn't want to do it. So
that kind of solved the problem.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I apologize. I wasn't, but what are we talking about here then?
Well, what he's saying is that he's
I
talking.
apologize.
Yeah. So what we said, Carl, we said last time was that.
But even this motion, it doesn't make, I mean.
Well, what he's saying now is the following. He's saying, yeah, I'm going to clarify. If they adopt our recommendation, and a commissioner just says, I just don't want any, not that they would do that, but if a commissioner X just says, I will never allow an incorporation, I don't care if everybody wants to do it, and I don't think anybody would do that, but if they did, we've said that a majority of the county commission
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
can vote to do it. It's not going to happen.
So
but,
in essence, it's just going to be the mayor. The mayor could propose a MAC.
Yeah, but your theory,
yeah.
your point is, you're saying is, which I agree with, we're changing the code. Right now, one commissioner could, if he's forming a MAC and it goes into another commissioner's district, that commissioner can veto it. And the motion here is to eliminate the ability of them to do that, right?
There's something going.
But allow for representation from that commission.
Of course, yes.
And I think it's important for it to be clear that the commissioner whose area is being impacted by this MAC, if you want to call it that, has a voice in that process.
And they will. Mr. Beerman.
Yeah, I think it's important just to maybe state as a general policy recommendation that we oppose any type of ordinance or scheme under which there would be the legal ability of a commissioner, a district commissioner, or any one commissioner to veto an incorporation or an annexation. And there have been, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I've seen a number of ordinances proposed that have attempted to do that, to give the district commissioner a veto.
Yes.
And, you know, just like Manny said, I mean, the 13 commissioners represent every area and every resident of this county, and they should have equal votes on this, not one veto.
Mayor, would you accept Mr. Beerman's friendly amendment to just, as part of your motion, say that no commissioner there should be no ordinance or resolution enacted that gives a single county commissioner the ability to veto an incorporation
Or
annexation. Okay, we're going to listen to everybody. Rosa.
Yeah, I think that we're kind of glossing over the second part of the mayor's motion, if I understood it correctly, and I'm not sure that we are dealing with annexation in this motion as well. I think we are.
Well,
Okay, because one of the things in the mayor's memo, in Mayor Jimenez's memo, is that he's looking for direction in the annexation portion that the boundaries have to be logical, contiguous, or natural. And I don't think we've really talked about that enough. And I think that's very important, especially in the annexation context, because I don't really know what contiguous means. I know what it means, just like all of us know what it means. But really, what does it mean in the eyes of the county commission? Is contiguity sufficient by a street connecting to otherwise disconnected parcels? I mean, to me, that's a very important issue. I think that would do nothing more than create enclaves and donut holes and all these things that we're trying to get it away from. I am not sure that we've really talked enough about that.
I can answer that. You ever see those psychiatric tests where they show they put the blot test, they put a blot. And
I've never seen those.
What do you call that?
Have you, Mayor? You've been taking. How often?
The Rorschach test where they show you a blot and everybody says it means something different to them. So I guess the answer might be that you'll show them a map and someone might say, I think that's perfectly contiguous, and somebody will say. So I'm not so sure. We have the attorney here. He's kind of nodding off there.
but that's why I said it's up to
Is there something in the county code that defines contiguous?
not over the annex.
Or is that a stupid question?
It's not a
There's
stupid
no
question.
My question is, Mr. County Attorney,
Question.
is there something, I know you recently got involved in some of these things, is there something in the county code that defines contiguous? That confines natural boundaries and contiguous?
I don't believe there, the only definition we do have is for what an enclave is. I'm sorry, I should have not. I'm still working on your other question.
Okay, no
You're not
problem,
meeting-
no
You're not
problem.
reading the sports page over there, right, but the heat.
No, actually, I'm looking at our code, just so everybody
There
understands.
you go.
I need the lessons that you said you would give me for somebody over 50. So, with respect to, there's nothing in the code with regard to the definition of contiguous, but there is a definition of what an enclave is. So, in that respect, it kind of assists in determining what contiguous is, because you don't want to create an enclave when you're doing or one of the guidelines is to look at annexations and incorporations is the issue.
But an enclave, Mr. Attorney, could be, would not be rather, let's just say there's two parcels and a connecting roadway. That would not leave an enclave necessarily in between because it still has an unexposed or an exposed wood.
Well, I think the definition of enclave is 80% surrounded by municipality, right?
I'm just saying that as part of the motion, I think the words were, I think, logical, contiguous, and natural. And logical and natural are highly subjective terms, but contiguous is not. And I mean, I just think
Well,
that,
contiguous is easy. If you don't have even a sliver being contiguous, you just can't do it, yeah.
But a road wouldn't
Can I
be.
just add-
We could say a road's not going to be contiguous.
No, let's let Rose finish her comments.
no, it would not, because it's my understanding, just hypothetically pulling it out of the air, that, for example, Northwest 25th Street might be the link between two wholly independent parcels, and by the connectivity of a roadway, that would then deem that to be contiguous. I have an issue with that.
Yeah, what happens in boundaries, and sometimes it's not exactly everything's completely next to each other. There are times when, yeah, you can do an annexation if there's a portion that's next, that touches you. But I want to go right now to, I want Mr. Moroni to restate the motion, and I want to see if there's any more comments on the motion before we get to the next issue. I think your motion was that the boundaries would be done on a case-by-case basis.
Well, we're gonna read what the mayor recommended, you're gonna add to it that no commissioner, basically what we're doing is adding to this.
Read what the mayor.
The county code does not require annexation municipalities to request boundaries that are logical and contiguous. The task force should consider criteria for boundaries that are contiguous, logical, and compact. This will ensure that meeting of those areas will be provided efficient and effective services. Exception for annexation, and probably we should add annexations and incorporations. For annexation where there is no contiguity or natural boundaries can be addressed on a case-by-case basis. That right there should clear up most of what you were saying. On a case-by-case basis. To give an example of that, Sweetwater would never have annexed had there been a correct definition of contiguity. I have 836 on one side, Turnpike on the other. We're landlocked. There's no way that I could have annexed off the mall without being able to say what a natural boundary was. If we would have said, okay, a highway, a canal.
But like in your case,
would've
what was
killed
the
me.
natural boundary, for example, in that case? What was your natural boundary?
Well, at a case-by-case basis, we went to the commission and we explained how, right, it wasn't. We went over a highway. In order to get to Dolphin Mall, I had to go through areas that are not Sweetwater, currently, right now.
But there was.
Unless I have a helicopter that can go over the turnpike, which I do. But